Hello again, Steve here with a little bit of a conversation this morning about how there seems to be a human nature within us which is not the greatest, perhaps. Perhaps we can really break ourselves from this endemic nature, which is, or at least it's endemic to certain groups anyway, but individuals can rise above this. And I think and it has to do with our bigotry towards other ideas, other people, other groups, etc., which seems to be a blanket which can prevent us from seeing the exceptions to those things that we disapprove of within individuals. And I saw this in spades this morning. No, let me take a step back. So I think, and I'll hope to be able to address this later on, but I think the sort of inoculation to this traditionally has been religions of sorts. In other words, within a group, you have human tendencies, right, which will rise up, which might not be beneficial. So people have, over the years and over thousands of years in many cases, there's this social construct that's developed called religion, and it's usually designed as fairy tale stories, right? We read kids fairy tale stories, then we talk about it. What's the moral of the story? What can we learn from it, etc. And this is what Bible stories and different other stories are meant to be, because most people, well, everybody starts out as a child, so it helpful there. And many people philosophically never grow to that too much. I mean, we stay philosophically children very often. We attach ourselves to iconic imagery and archetypes and heroism, hero worship, and all that sort of thing, to sort of guide our morals, or to help craft our morals. But we can also rise above that. We become thinking people. We become philosophical and whatnot. And this helps us out of this state of the bigotry that we're in. And of course, in life, it doesn't matter what the spectrum of different human beings. There's bigotry that's flying all over the place. I think that people who tend to be less mature emotionally tend to be more bigoted. That's what I've noticed. But it's really interesting, because I like to point this out sometimes, because I just notice stuff, and how I realize, wow, if the shoe was on the other foot, that wouldn't be tolerated, right? Because there's a whole class of people in society who claim to want tolerance, right? They want tolerance, but then they're completely intolerant when it comes to somebody who they disagree with. So they want tolerance within a certain confined spectrum of their worldview. And as soon as somebody's out there, they're fair game for complete intolerance. I get a kick out of this. It's absolutely hilarious to look at, but I don't know if people notice this. There was a book that was written many years ago, and it explains this in terms of the human nature to get wrapped up into the group think. The book was called Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds. It's approximately like that. It was written by a guy named McKay, I believe. And it talks about how people can go almost insane. They can almost run over each other in an attempt to get on board with whatever it is, whatever the current madness is, right? They will go completely. This is not something new. This whole, Trump derangement syndrome that's going on in the world is nothing new. I mean, to understand McKay's, thesis on, or his explanations of extraordinary popular delusion and the madness of crowds, this is exactly what's happening. So whatever is the most, emotionally profitable in the moment, or something really odd. So, for example, there was this guy, apparently his name is Mac Miller. He's some rapper. I don't listen to rap. I don't know much about rap. But he did a rap song about how much he loved Donald Trump, And this was when, as I mentioned before, this was back when Donald Trump was generally a pretty cool guy. I mean, in the media, they kind of loved him. They knew he was quirky, had weird hair, etc. But they didn't hate him, right? Most of them didn't hate him. So anyways, when this whole Trump, campaign came out, all these shit posters who are using Pepe the Frog as a way of just riling up the infantile left, right? They started playing this guy's song, and he got all upset because now, of course, he wants to virtue signal that he hates Donald Trump. as all rappers and all music genres and all media genres, etc., wanted to do, except maybe certain country folks, because they tend to be a little bit on the other side of things. But even the right, though, hated Donald Trump. At least the mainstream right hated Donald Trump because he was outside the mold. He wasn't part of their extraordinarily madness or delusion, except that the hatred of him was the extraordinary popular delusion and the madness of crowds. Now, it's interesting because I went into my gym this morning, as I go to my gym, once in a while anyway, and they always have background music, and sometimes it's quite loud. I find that if there's lots of people in there, sometimes they'll turn it down a little bit because I guess everybody's talking, there's more noise. But if there's less noise in the morning and there's not many people there, they sort of turn it up. And there was this song being played, and it was called, most of what it was saying was just, hey, hey, fuck Donald Trump, right? And I looked it up. It's by this guy, I think it's by this YG and Nipsey Hussle. I don't know. I never heard of the guys before. Don't know anything about them. I don't listen to rap, But I just thought it was interesting because I thought, that's interesting. If there was something like that about Trudeau or Barack Obama, I think it would be rather newsworthy in the mainstream media that somebody would be attacking a guy and veiled death threats. I read through some of the lyrics, and basically the chorus, I guess, is amazingly very not very creative. It basically goes, and this you hear a lot of it. It goes, fuck Donald Trump, yeah nigga, fuck Donald Trump, yeah fuck Donald Trump, yeah fuck Donald Trump, yeah fuck Donald Trump, yeah nigga, fuck Donald Trump, yeah fuck Donald Trump, yeah. Now there's a creative bunch of poetry, isn't it? And what does it say? I'm looking off to the side here because I'm trying to read my laptop. Just when I thought it wouldn't get no sicker, I woke up one morning and heard this red-ass motherfucker taking out the side of his neck, talking out the side of his neck. Me and all my people, we always thought he was straight, influential motherfucker when it came to the business. But now, since we know how you really feel, this is how we feel. So it's like, hey, you guys who voted for this guy, we're going to tell you what we think, right? And this, of course, is supported. This was a public area that I was in, and this was being played. And I felt compelled to go up to the people and say, I could care less. People want to make fun of politicians, fine. But I just thought I'd say, and I went up to the girl who was at the desk, and I said, can you imagine if something like that was played about Trudeau? If something like that was played about Barack Obama? Can you imagine? There might be somebody who would be offended. Like if you're a business, everybody's talking about, oh, don't offend, don't offend, don't offend. Well, you know what? 6 o'clock in the morning in the gym, there's some producing guys, let's just put it this way. These are the kind of people who voted for Donald Trump, right? You might be aware of that, right? You're playing this stuff, okay? I like the white folk, but I don't like you. All the niggas in the hood want to fight you. Surprised the Nation of Islam ain't tried to find you. Have a rally in LA. You know what's up. Home of the Rodney King riot. We don't give a fuck. Black students eject you from your rally. What? I'm ready to go right now. You racist ass did too much. I bout to turn Black Panther. It's, veiled death threats, right? Don't let Donald Trump win. That nigga cancer. He too rich. He ain't got the answer. He can't make decisions in this country. He's going to crash us. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, put the shoe on the other foot. Have this be about Barack Obama. Have this be about Trudeau. Going to turn Black Panther. What if there was a song about Barack Obama and somebody came out and said, I'm going to turn Ku Klux Klan? Can you imagine? The Black Panthers were a black, racist, radical organization, right? That's what, on the other foot, that's what the Ku Klux Klan was, except that the Ku Klux Klan was also a Democrat activist group, as all the other activist groups happen to be typically. But anyways, no, it's a tendency, I think. And so what I like to do with all this stuff is to try to, because we can project out, right? We can always project out into the world that, oh, this shit's going on out there and so on. But unless we can see what's going on in ourselves, that part of this can be in ourselves, we can all have the tendency to be bigoted. And this is why we have to find ways to curtail ourselves. To hang on a second here. We can create caricatures of people. And of course, the caricaturization that's taking place there, if you read some of these, I encourage you to go read the lyrics to this. This is being played in a public event, a public place. You can see that there is a caricature of whites, of those who voted for him. And the danger that we have as human beings sometimes is we can because we're tribal by nature. So we can caricaturize the other tribe and say, oh, that tribe is such. But that's not very helpful, because an individual from within that can be very different, can be philosophical, can be based on certain principles, that we don't care about somebody's race, somebody's gender, somebody's identity, whatever. It doesn't matter. Can we negotiate? Can we be peaceful together? You know, that's the critical thing that's important. Can we be peaceful together and get along? Right? And to me, I think that this is helped by a commitment to truth, a commitment to philosophical rigor. Yes, in the past, there has been commitments to, and still to this day, commitments to religion, because religion has a way of tempering our tendencies to go off the rails and just start categorizing people as such, right? But then again, it's like a 1.0 version of how to deal with how to contain our emotions and how to have them line up with what is also true, as close as we can find truth, right? And philosophy, just like a scientific method, is a commitment to not only a commitment to truth, but a methodology of finding what is most truthful, what appears to be most truthful. So, you know, a song like this is an example of emotional riling up of people, right? And getting people to be pissed off at somebody. But, you know, it's also, and in so doing, encouraging people not to really look into what's happening. Not to question, okay, why is it okay to make a song like this and have everybody laugh at it and have it in the public square and it's all perfectly okay. But then if you create something like that, if somebody was to create a song about Barack Obama where somebody would suggest, I'm going to go KKK, that this would be would be labeled as completely unacceptable. If that's true, then we're bigoted, right? So the way to not be that, and we all have these tendencies, I think, is to be more philosophical and to have a commitment to truth and have a methodology to get as far as close as possible to truths. And then we don't need to have emotional riling up of other people. We do not have to fall for the extraordinary popular delusions and the madness of crowds, which is a human tribal tendency, I believe. Surely we can evolve beyond that. Steve here, great chatting. Talk again soon. Please like, subscribe, and share, and comment as much as you can. Talk again soon. Bye.